guys, welcome to the kitchen. I have my spatula today. See, I remembered it ahead of time. Finally, probably the first time ever. So today it is a Friday. It is a Friday before March break. So all of us that work from home are trying to take some solitude and find 5 minutes to cuddle in a corner in quiet in preparation for next week when everybody's home all week long and the whole week is going to be crazy. But it's also really cold and really windy out, which is uncharacteristic for March. So we are going to make a soup today that will help us cuddle up with a book or a good movie or whatever you want to do to find that small little pocket of quiet before, well, it's almost 3 o'clock. You don't have much time left, but we're going to work it out. Maybe you put a movie on tonight or something like that. We are going to make a cauliflower cheddar soup today. It's so super simple and so super good. You know, when you go and you find that restaurant that has the best broccoli cheddar soup, the best cauliflower cheddar soup, well now you can make yours at home. Making soups is so much easier than everybody thinks. Plus, it's really awesome because you can freeze half of it and have them ready in individual servings in your freezer. So one lunchtime, if you want to whip up some soup in a sandwich, you just plop it out of your freezer in whatever reusable container or even a Ziploc bag of some sort in your freezer, and you just heat it up and it's ready to go. No prep, no mess, no nothing. So we're going to start out. I've got the rock crock here. We're going to use this, again, one of my favorite things to use in the kitchen because we use it just about every day for everything we're doing. I've got it heating. I'm going to add some oil, some olive oil, and then we're going to put some onions in here. I did a pretty generous helping of oil there, and I'm just going to slice up my onions. We're going to do this really quick. We don't need to master the slicing of anything because eventually we're going to end up using a blender. And I'm going to use an immersible blender. If you have a super blender that you prefer to use, then you use that, right? You use whatever you want. Whatever works in your kitchen, that's what you throw in. So I'm just going to get my onions going here. I have 2 yellow onions that I'm using. It calls for one, I would say 1 large one or 2 of these small ones is good. I love onions. I love the flavor, so I never really worry about the amount of onions that I'm going to put into my cooking. As long as I can make them indistinguishable to the younger eyes, it doesn't really matter how much you put in, right? There's just a really good flavor enhancer. I mean, if you're going to make a French onion soup, the recipe that I use calls for 5 large white onions or sweet onions. And you want to talk about crying, that's a lot of crying. But again, in that one, you're not going to immersible blend all of your onions. You're just going to keep them sliced. So try to find the onions that aren't so fussy like this one. Doesn't want to be peeled. Give these a quick stir just so they don't get going too badly here. Give these a slice. Now I'm going to throw in some mushrooms too because I have mushrooms. I was at the grocery store this week and I like to add mushrooms to my meals. There's not a whole lot of a nutritional addition to the meal with a mushroom, but there is quite a flavor addition, and I really like the flavor of mushrooms. So, I don't know, those of you that are local here, we have a superstore that has been, it's been taken over. It's like a different type of a superstore. And what they have there are these naturally imperfect items. It's awesome. So you can buy naturally imperfect mushrooms by the bulk for next to nothing. You can do with peppers, you can do with cucumbers. They're a great way to throw some extra stuff into your budget at next to nothing. And really, what's an imperfect? It just doesn't look good. What do you think it looks like in the bottom of your stomach? It doesn't look like anything down there, right? So the taste is going to be the same. Everything else is going to be the same. So you need to capitalize on some of those when you can. So I'm throwing mushrooms in here. We're going to just keep tossing all these in. And we're going to just get this going all nice and yummy. Okay, so we've got our onions and our mushrooms. What's next? 3 cloves of garlic. We're going to throw those in really nice, quick, and simple. 1, skins out here. I'm going to put 2 together because I have 2 small ones. And I think they'll all fit. Going to require some mussels, but we got it all going. So I've got my garlic. Let's see if there's anything in there left. Nope. I've got my garlic, I've got my onions, and I've got my mushrooms. So we're going to let those get really nice and good, which they're doing quite well. Now I'm going to add something a little different, a caraway seed. Okay, I'm going to add half a teaspoon of caraway seeds. This is going to give your meal, your soup, just a little bit of a different flavor. Okay, so that's awesome. So now we just need to let this come and sizzle for a minute. We need to keep stirring it because we don't want the garlic to burn. And we just want it to all come around. The next thing we need to add is our cauliflower. Again, we used cauliflower earlier this week. We're just going to take the center out of our cauliflower, kind of like form a little teepee with the root of the cauliflower. And everything else tends to fall apart on it. So there's your cauliflower, ready and done. And like I said, it doesn't matter how big the cauliflower chunks are here for this, because they are going to be blended in the end. You're going to let the cauliflower cook completely and blend it into the end. So I'm just going to break these up manually that I can do with my hands here. See how easy this is? The soup is almost done. Like literally we're in the finishing touches here. So we've got everything nicely sauteed up here. Again, using our rock crock for its fullest capacity. I'm going to throw in my cauliflower. Don't worry, we're not going to saute it all up. There's my cauliflower. Get all the yumminess. And then I've got 1 full Tetra Pak of chicken broth or vegetable broth, whichever you prefer, whatever you're using. And I'm going to just put that whole thing in here. It's about 4 cups of chicken broth. And you're pretty much done. So all we're going to do now is I'm going to put the lid on. And I'm going to walk away for about 20 to 25 minutes. Because we're going to let that cauliflower cook in that chicken broth. We're going to reduce, once it boils, we'll reduce it down to a simmer and then we can walk away. But in the meantime, what we're going to do in the end, oh, we forgot our salt and pepper. Pause, salt and pepper. Actually, I'm not going to really put salt in because we do have the chicken broth and it's already got salt to it. So I'm just going to throw in the pepper. Stir it around a little bit so that there's pepper somewhere else other than the top of the cauliflower. Alright, so now I'm going to let it boil and then I'm going to let it simmer for about 20 to 25 minutes. Basically, you want to take your fork and all of those, the thickest part of your cauliflower, you want to be able to pierce with your fork and it be nice and soft and cooked. Once you've done that, you're going to pull it off the heat and then you're going to get your immersible blender or you're going to transfer it to your countertop blender, whichever, and you're going to blend everything together into a soupy consistency. Once you've got that nice soupy consistency, you're going to take some cheddar cheese, about a cup. Again, how do we use cheese? At least a cup, right? We're going to shred that up, and we're going to add that to the soup while it's still hot. You're going to get some parsley as a garnish, so you don't need a whole ton of parsley. If you have fresh parsley in your fridge, that's the best to use. I actually made a salad yesterday and used up all of my parsley, so I don't have any. I have to use up the dried stuff. Remember your ratio from fresh to dried. If it calls for a cup of fresh parsley, you want to do 1/3 of that dried, so 1/3 cup. So I would say we're probably going to use hardly anything, maybe a tablespoon or let's say a teaspoon, because we just want it to garnish, of dried parsley. So whatever that converts to, multiply it by 3 for fresh. So I have my cheddar here. Sharp cheddar is the best to use. If you've got sharp, it seems to have more flavor packed for the quantity of cheese that you have. That works out the best. And then you're gonna be ready to serve it. So what do you serve it with? What are some cool things to put on top of your soup? Well, if you've got bacon bits, any sort of bacon bits or bacon left over in your fridge and you want to crumble the bacon on top of here, that would be really good. In fact, I may just cook bacon for this now that I'm talking about it. I think it's a fantastic idea. Blue cheese, you could sprinkle blue cheese on top. Croutons, you remember when we made croutons? So you take your ends of your loaves of bread that are stuffed in your bread drawer, because I end up usually with 3 or 4 loaves of ends, and you're just going to cut them up into small bits, put some olive oil and your garlic seasoning, garlic and herb or whatever, and bake them on your bar pan for about 5 minutes until they're toasty. Then you've got fresh homemade croutons to put on top of your cauliflower cheddar soup. All kinds of awesome variations. What are you going to eat with it? Are you doing a grilled cheese night? Maybe go stop and get a French loaf from the grocery store and whip up some of those amazing grilled cheeses we did with roasted red peppers and goat cheese and pesto. Super simple, super quick, and a nice light meal, like a comfort food meal is what it ends up being, right? So many options, but we're going to walk away today with the cauliflower cheddar soup. So it's amazing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to let this cook. I'm going to add the cheddar. If I get the bacon going, I'm going to throw the bacon in, and then I'm going to snap some photos and add them into the comments below. I implore you to try this at home. It's just as easy. Even with broccoli, you could almost do the exact same recipe with a broccoli cheddar. If you've got onions, you could throw mushrooms in it if you want. Mushrooms are optional. They're not a necessity. I wouldn't do the caraway seed. I would do garlic. And do the same thing with your broccoli. Steam it the same way we're doing it right now with 4 cups of chicken broth. Add the cheddar, 1 cup of cheddar, and then complement it there. Bacon would even go in that one as well. You can do this with most vegetables. We just don't think of it, so we don't do it. So I want you to try something. Throw whatever's in your fridge. If you've got lots of broccoli that you haven't eaten, if you've got a bag of frozen broccoli in your freezer that needs to go, try something like a soup. Kids like soup because it's a little bit different. They can use soup as a dip. I mean, why not put some celery around the table and have it dip inside one of your soups? It's a healthier dip. It's a great way to use it up, and it's getting your kids to explore new flavors, right? Same thing when you're told as a newborn mom, babies need to taste things like 3 and 4 times before they'll actually like them. Your kids are like that too. It might get closer to 10. You never know. But the more times they are exposed to a new flavor, the higher the likely is that they will enjoy it. So do that. Get into your kitchen, try some things, throw them at your kids. Don't get mad when they don't like it, like me, because it doesn't work well. It doesn't get anybody anywhere. Just keep pushing it and always have something on the side that you know they will eat. That's all you can do. Keep introducing it, keep them eating, and keep them going. So there's my soup for today. Happy Friday. Look for the pictures below, and we'll talk to you soon. Have a great day. Bye.